Carmichael, one of the ACC's best on the defensive back line. We are set to go here at Ambrose Urbanic Field. Thanks everybody for being with us. Kevin Wheeler and David Day with you tonight. And David, I think we got to start right away with this Pitt lineup. Michael Sullivan with the head bandage on, I should say, at that right center back spot. Vicek and Bertrand playing in the midfield together. This should be an interesting combination that we haven't really seen much of this year from Pitt.
Yeah, big challenge, especially for those young players in the central midfield. Tough matchup for them tonight, and I know that we're expecting Villa Majama to play tonight, and that's a late replacement for Bertrand to come in and take on that role. So we'll find out why that change was made. We knew that there was illness going through the Pitt camp this week, and that's why Sorensen is missing tonight's game. So some adjustments for the Panthers, and we'll see if they're able to continue to play their game plan the way that they've been to this point in the season.
Yeah, Sorensen, the freshman, had started every single game as a center back for this team and was ill during the Denver game even, but muscled through that one, just couldn't keep it going this week. And so he's out tonight. Other guys that have been sick this week, Lasse Dahl was another one. We'll see if we see him tonight at some point.
Pitt all in white tonight, playing from left to right. California Golden Bears making their first appearance in Pittsburgh, playing from right to left.
Excited to see Cal for the first time on this field. First time these two programs have ever played. Grenning with a chance right off the top here. Left-footed strike toward the net. It's stopped. Now Bertrand, this one stopped by the back line. Another chance over the crossbar. The Pitt Panthers flurrying for a goal early here.
Yeah, and it all really came about because of Bertrand breaking behind the Cal line. You'll see here a great ball over the top from Michael Sullivan. Bertrand's able to knock it back with his back to Sam Cal. Finds Grenning, and the Panthers are buzzing around the box trying to find a way to bash that into the back of the net, but Cal defends well and forces it out for a corner.
Great stop by Marco Brocker, the keeper for Cal, to start that flurry.
That's a good indication of what Miguel Bertrand can bring to the table. He is playing that attacking center midfield position. Feitosa has dropped back one spot. He's in more box-to-box number 8 type role.
Mayufo with a left-footed corner here. It ends up with Vicek now taken away. It's Alfredo Ortiz able to snag it. Now Carmichael will boot it forward.
But just like the Panthers were probably caught off guard by that late change, I'm sure Cal was not expecting to see Bertrand in attacking center midfield, and he'll be somewhat of an unknown from the scouting report. Probably don't have as much information on him. Same thing with Vicek, so those guys may have the element of surprise. But both these teams are pretty unfamiliar with each other. We talked to the coaches about how they were preparing for this first-time matchup. There's not that bank of knowledge over the course of years, and Cal obviously new to the ACC, and they're getting to know everyone.
Bertrand with just his second start this year. Number 7 in white, boots it over to Casper Grenning. Told you about him in the open. Beautiful goal Monday, 3-game goal streak for him. Now Feitosa sends it back to Mayufo.
So these lineup changes are a good test for Pitt's depth. We've seen it all year long where they've been able to use their depth to really grind teams down. So here, having to access that depth a little bit earlier in the match, but nevertheless, Coach Vidovic extremely excited and proud of his depth players and sort of his second unit that have been able to come in and not miss a beat when they've had opportunities to get into games. A lot of hunger on this young Pitt team.
Sam Cal to Grenning. Grenning a left-footed cross into the box. Settles with Vicek.
Yeah, we talked about it in the open. Grenning is a real dangerous, threatening player down that left-hand side, and he definitely sees a lot of the ball, and a good chunk of Pitt attacks are generated through him.
Turnover in the midfield now. And it's taken back by Pitt quickly. Took it back from Brendan Bell. He's getting the start tonight in place of Rohan McElligott. He took a red in the Louisville game 8 days ago, so he's out tonight.
Cal's really been getting adjusted to the ACC. They're winless to this point in their 5 games, but a couple big ties and a big comeback result last week against Louisville. They were 2-0 and 3-1 down in that match and fought their way back. There's a lot of character in this team, and obviously they've got firepower as well, so they're really getting their feet wet in ACC play.
Jay Vidovich, Pitt Panthers head coach, now in his 9th year. A couple of college cups in his last 4 seasons, and a lot of people believe that this team could do it again. #1 in the country, 3rd straight week. Pitt has made 5 consecutive NCAA tournaments. Here's Svenby now to his buddy Albert Thorson. Those two have known each other since playing youth ball back when they were 12 years old. Michael Sullivan had just an unbelievable game on Monday night, David, against Denver, number 26 in white. It's been a staple of the Pitt program since he's been there, now in his senior season. But Jay Vidovich told us that there were times that he watched the tape of that Monday game where he just said wow at some things that Michael Sullivan was able to do. Yeah,
he said he enjoyed it even more the second time around, and there was some things Sullivan did that he didn't even notice, but he really had some excellent passing, great at winning second balls, some key moments on both sides of the ball. In that game against Denver, he was playing a more central midfield position. Tonight, he's forced to play centre back, and he's really, been a jack of all trades, starting out his career as more of an attacking player, and he's working his way backwards at this point, but he really is a key contributor to this Pitt team and arguably one of their unsung heroes to this point in the season. But Monday's goal against Denver, the game-winning goal to get Pitt in the lead, really was a statement moment for him.
He sends this one out to Svenby wide right. Pitt possessing much of the ball so far. Spending a lot of time in this half. That is what they like to do.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game for Cal, obviously on the road, far from home. I know they flew in on Wednesday and have been in Pittsburgh for a couple days and been working to get their legs under them. They've been off since last Thursday in that Louisville game, so they've had 8 days off. And as we mentioned, first trip to Pittsburgh, first time here at Ambrose Urbanic.
They're headed up by Leonard Griffin in his 3rd season. Pac-12 Coach of the Year last year. Previous stops at Grand Canyon and San Francisco before coming to Cal. Had a stint as a Cal assistant coach a number of years ago as well.
We had a great conversation with him yesterday. He was telling us a lot about his team and his season to this point in time, his journey to get to Cal, and a lot of experience as a professional player himself, and now really developing in the coaching ranks, and was Coach of the Year in the Pac-12 last season.
Griffin had a pretty solid playing career as well that was pretty long, and won a national title in 2002 with UCLA. Tries not to say that too much now that he's the head coach of Cal. Doesn't want to upset too many people.
Well, he talked about the championship mindset, and he knows what that's all about, having been there and done it and played in the professional ranks. So when he talks to his players about growing in the game and next steps and next level, they're going to listen. Commands a lot of respect from his players, and he's really building a great program here at Cal.
And he likes what's he's gotten out of his team so far this year. Mentioned a couple of times already, a lot of close games for this Cal team this year. 9 of their 10 games decided by 1 goal or less. 2-5-2 record in those games. So they're kind of trying to get that monkey off their back, get a W in a close game. It's a foul on Cal, so excuse me, on Pitt. It'll go Cal's way.
Yeah, Coach Griffin talking about the fact that they had been impacted by injuries coming into this season, and that's one of the reasons that you see some tight losses and ties like that. They've been really figuring out their group and overcoming adversity, and there's a lot that you can take from tough losses like that, and there's a lot of growth that occurs, and just knowing that you're in those games and recognizing those moments where you may let them get away from you, that's part of the growth experience. We've talked about that a lot of times, but they're a tough team, and they're definitely going to give it everything tonight.
Good ball up top for Thorson, crossed in. Brocker there and cleared out by Carmichael. Johnny on the spot. Another threatening chance for Pitt.
Good stop by the keeper there. You see Feitosa releases Thornton, gets the ball across the box, and Brockner's there with the hand, and Carmichael follows up to clear the ball out of the box. Thorson was getting ready to try to take another chance at it.
Just talking about the Cal close results, it's tough to get dropped into a new conference. You're getting used to new opponents every single time you step onto the pitch, and all 5 of those results were decided by 1 goal or less. So you get dropped into arguably the best college soccer conference in the country, and you're competitive right away. It speaks a lot to what Cal and Leonard Griffin's doing so far.
Yeah, I mean, they're on the stage. They're playing in the toughest soccer conference in the country, and there's no easy way to get adjusted to that. And so there's a lot of learning and growth that's going to go on as a result. And they're young, you know. I mean, just looking at their back line tonight, Moda at left back is a sophomore. Bo Morrison's a freshman, centre back. So Carmichael is the senior, is the lone sort of upperclassman, and then Isaiah Thomas at right back, another sophomore. So you got a young back line. Been dealing with injuries. I know that they're missing Wyatt Meyer as well out of the lineup. Hasn't played yet this season. He's a guy that got drafted by Nashville in the offseason and chose to come back for his senior year. And so when you're overcoming injuries and you're kind of exposing young guys to big time moments, you're going to take some lumps along the way. And I think you see that with some of the results going against them in tight games.
Certainly missing Wyatt Meyer at the back, a guy that they expected to have as a combination with Kevin Carmichael, both drafted by Nashville in the MLS draft last year. Both of those guys serving as captains. They hope to get Wyatt Meyer back in the next couple of weeks here or so. But it's tough to lose the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year from last season and try to plug somebody into that role. It's big shoes to fill.
Yeah, and I'm sure they weren't expecting Bo Morrison to come in and have to start every single game at centre back, but he's been able to do that and has really done a good job. He's stood up and he's, you know, been accountable, been learning as he goes and developing that partnership with Carmichael.
Sam Cow working on Morrison there. Now Thorson dancing, finding space. Great job by Pitt to keep possession. Feitosa gets it back to Mayufo.
And Cal doing a good job of getting compact and dropping back behind the ball to try to get themselves blocking the passing lanes and get their bodies in front of the goal to stop Pitt getting shots off, making it difficult for them to generate the clear scoring opportunities in that box.
Pitt wins a corner off of it. They keep possession, bouncing around the box here.
Yeah, Pitt's a tough team to defend, and you see how hard Morrison's got to work there to contain Sam Cow, and then Carmichael's matched up with Thorson, and Pitt just extends plays and keeps it going and wins a corner as a result. Coach Griffin talked about the need for Cow to be better in both boxes, on the defensive end and on the attacking end, and we'll see if they're able to defend well tonight and hold Pitt off the board.
Ball in, was looking for the head of Sam Cow. Settles with Bertrand, now back over to Mayufo. Pitt trying to get their formation back in check. They keep possession after the set piece.
And that's part of what they do. Even if they lose the ball, they tend to get back and win it back extremely quickly. Continue to put teams under pressure, force them to work and really, you know, test their depth and use Pitt uses their depth to their advantage to really wear teams down, and we've seen it especially in the second half.
First significant possession here for Cal. Brendan Bell earns a set piece here coming as Feitosa with a tough challenge.
Feitosa felt he won that ball fair and square, but ref gives Bell the free kick. Now Cal will have an opportunity from a set piece, and they'll be looking for those two big forwards, the Twin Towers as we called them, Adam Abua and Duncan.
There they are looming. Duncan number 12, Adim Abua number 10. Both those guys 6'4". Ball in here looking for those guys. This one over the crossbar. Cal can't believe it. Morrison was on the end of it.
So nice chance for Cal, and that's exactly part of the game plan that they'll be looking to institute, win some set pieces and create some dangerous opportunities in the opponent's box. Morrison would have liked to have got a better header on that and really challenge Cabral Carter. Carter returning to net tonight after 3 games out. I know that he did sustain a concussion, and then Jack Moxon was playing so well in net that I think, you know, they Pitt coaching staff were able to give Moxon a bit more of an extended run and give Carter a little bit more time to fully recover from that concussion, which certainly not the type of injury you want to mess about with.
Grenning now into the box. Pitt living in this half so far.
Yeah, and you see the organization of Cal getting back, keeping their lines connected.
Looking for Thorson back post that goes over everybody. So you mentioned Jack Moxon, what a job he did. It's kind of a luxury for Jay Vidovich to have 2 guys who can come in, and both of them have 3 shutouts this year. So Carter gets the start tonight after stepping out with an injury. Mentioned the concussion, and Jack Moxon did such a nice job that he earned himself a couple of more starts. Won that game Monday against Denver, got a shutout. But Jay Vidovich told us that the guys in front of those 2 really trust them with distribution, and they don't really miss a beat between either one.
Yeah, it's a good partnership, and it's nice to have those kind of problems where you got 2 goalkeepers that are so solid they're making it difficult for you to decide between which one of them is going to play. Moxon got the opportunity from Carter's injury, and then he did well with the opportunity. But Coach Vidovich talked about the fact that he was going to make the best decision for the team, and they elected to go with Carter tonight. And like you mentioned, you know, 3 shutouts on the year, undefeated as the starting keeper, so he's definitely a force back there, the commander-in-chief, as we like to call him. But Moxon did a noble job, a great job, deputizing for him. And now it's going to be up to Carter to make sure he holds on to that #1 spot, because he knows Moxon's chomping at his heels and looking to get back in there as soon as possible.
So it's Carter's first game since September 20th. He got tested early there with that Bo Morrison chance. Just couldn't get on the other end of that header.
Really big win for Pitt on Monday night against Denver. That was a real challenge for them. I know coming in a non-conference game like that against the top side, that was a really good test for them to see where they were in terms of not only defending the #1 ranking, but playing a very good out-of-conference side in the middle of your conference slate. And that was a big win for Pitt to be able to turn over Denver.
Thorson and Svenby connecting, and Pitt wins another corner.
Yeah, the Norwegian boys combining down the right-hand side. Thorson combining with Svenby, who likes to get forward in a hurry. The right back really plays an attacking role of this team. A lot of times you see Thorson actually playing lower than him, and Svenby's a real threat. He had a great shot against the post against Denver, had himself a goal against Howard last week, so he's really been helping to make this Pitt attack go. There's just so many threats. It's such a balanced lineup.
Some conversation in the box between Adema Bua and Casper Grenning. Adema Bua doesn't want him around, trying to get him out of there.
Trying to protect his keeper. We've seen Pitt does like to stack the 6-yard box sometimes, and on this one they're lining up on the penalty spot. Grenning, I'm sure, can be a pest. Plays the game with a real desire. And he's going to be making life difficult for Cal back there all night.
It's a great chance by Gilman. They love going to him on that near post header. Just didn't have a beat on the goal.
Pitt dangerous from them corners. They win a lot of them. Came into this game with 73 on the season, while their opponents only had 30. So, you know, they definitely create chances, and then they win a lot of set-piece opportunities from their attacking intent, create havoc in opposition penalty areas.
Pitt top 15 in the country in corner kicks earned per game. Not many offensive or defensive categories that Pitt isn't in the top 15 in the country, it seems.
I mean, they're a very nice team to watch, Kevin. We've had the pleasure of watching them all season long, and this might well be the best version of the Pitt Panthers that we've ever seen, to be honest with you. And they've really built depth, and they have a team mentality that is very strong, very determined. They're a hungry side, and they are causing opponents a lot of headaches.
Trying to be the first team in Division I since 2018 to finish in the top 5 of scoring offense and defense.
Calm on the ball there, but it causes a turnover, and Cal jumps out on top.
What a blunder from Pitt there, and Cal cashes in. Nonso Adimabua takes control of the missed touch, buries it into the back of the net. 1-0 Cal.
Yeah, against the run of play, but the turnovers caused. I think it was Cabral Carter and Vicek were looking to play it out of the back, and there was either a miscommunication or not a firm enough touch. Vicek just has a bad touch, and Adimabua is able to just take it right off him and play it right into the open goal there. Knows exactly where to put it, and gives Cal exactly the type of start that they needed to this game to challenge Pitt. It's going to be a real moment for Vicek to overcome here in his ACC debut performance. First start in an ACC contest, and just had a bad touch on the top of the box, and Cal was able to punish it.
Adimabua, Johnny on the spot. Big goal, had an assist against Louisville in his last game. But he was there, and he attacked that ball.
Yeah, and you know what, we were talking about some of the young guys for Cal playing at the back, the freshmen, the sophomores, and here for Pitt you have Vicek making his first ACC start. He's a freshman, and there you see that that's just the type of mistake that a young guy might make and pay the price, and that's how you learn.
Thorson wants to get it back immediately. Grenning almost does. Diving stop by Marco Brocker. Beautiful job by Thorson here.
Thorson getting past Mota and getting the ball across the top of the box. Grenning gets the shot off, but Cal does a good job of making it difficult for Grenning to get a clean shot off, and I think he took a slight block.
So Adimabua now with his 3rd goal of the year. That's tied for the team lead. Ties his other buddy Eric Duncan that we talked about in the open.
Yeah, now you can see Cal's got a little bit of a lift from that. They're excited about taking the lead here in Pittsburgh. There's not many teams can say that they've done that. Pitt generally scores first and generally wins as a result.
It's going to be offside. Bell was pushing forward.
But we know that Cal can score, and they demonstrated there. They're not afraid or intimidated by any of their opponents. They've played a tough schedule. They've been competing very well in the ACC. Tough, tight loss to North Carolina, but they tied Virginia. They tied Louisville. We talked about how they came back against Louisville. They played Denver opening game of the season, so they've tested themselves against some of the best in the country. They're not going to be intimidated by Pitt Panthers. They have nothing to lose coming in here, seeking their first ever ACC win, and see if they can beat the #1 team in the country while doing it.
Pitt has not given up the first goal of a game since the SMU match back on September 7th. For the first time in 7 matches that the Panthers are trailing.
Yeah, and I just think it was nervy out of the back. Carter, his first game back out of the last 4. He looked a little bit nervous on the ball. Vicek looked a little bit nervous on the ball. And then just one mistake and it ends up in the back of your net. I've said it 1,000 times. Mistakes get punished at this level. And that mistake certainly got punished for Pitt.
Thorson and Svenby. Pitt quickly looking for an equalizer. So a lot of the possessions so far, a couple of good chances for Pitt, but the 2 mistakes that Pitt has made was one on the foul that led to the free kick, Bo Morrison's missed chance off the header, and then Cabral Carter and Josh Vicek, not able to connect. And you see here David Carter here kind of no-looks Vicek. He looks to the right, and I think Vicek might have got surprised by it at first.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, obviously he was getting pressure put on him as well. Probably heard footsteps with Adam Abua coming after him, and just had a bad touch in the moment, and that's how it goes sometimes. So got to take care of the ball, otherwise it ends up in the back of your net, and that's the challenge of playing out of the back. You got to play with confidence, and you got to get good touches.
Pitt does look to be trying to push the ball Svenby's way. Can't keep possession there, so Brocker will have a goal kick coming. And
I'm really interested to see the response from Pitt. You know, like you said, it's not very often they get put behind, and that's where they are. I know that while Coach Vidovic was extremely happy with the result on Monday night against Denver, and he thought it was a really good game, I know that he felt the second half was really tough. Denver did a fantastic job of asking questions, and he said that after they scored their second goal against Denver, they lost their way a little bit, and I think that that's really been the hallmark of this Pitt team, is that they have been able to overcome challenges and overcome adversity when teams have asked questions of them, and that's going to need to be what happens tonight.
So Pitt trailing for only the second time during their 7-game win streak.
And I think if you're Cal, you just need to continue to execute your game plan, continue to win your 1v1 matchups, stay organized, communicate, work on both sides of the ball, not try to do anything more than what's expected of you, what you're capable of. And Pitt's going to continue to try to push them and test them. We'll see if they try to start forcing the ball, or if they're going to continue to play their game to create the type of opportunities that they want. Coach Vidovic talked to us about the fact that they've been choosing the right moments to attack and choosing the right plays, the right actions, making the right decisions.
Mention how Pitt hasn't trailed in a while. Cal facing a #1 team tonight. Last time they were able to beat a #1 was 2019 against Washington. That was a 3-2 win. Cal trying to do a complete major task here on the road. Not only just beat a #1, but beat a Pitt team that is nearly unstoppable at home. They're so good on this field. Have been for a number of years since Jay Vidovic came to Pitt. It'll be a huge accomplishment early yet, of course. Svenby ball in here, batted around, settles at the top of the box for a moment. Feitosa coming out of nowhere to win possession back. Grenning with a run here.
Yeah, it's pretty simple expectation for Cal now. They just need to shut out Pitt. But that's only happened once this season, and I know Pitt's got a goal differential of +24. University of Pennsylvania is the only team to shut out Pitt so far this year. That was a 1. And that's the challenge for Cal. But you can't just park the bus, because that's when you do give up the goal. So they have to continue to take their opportunities to counter, win set pieces in the opponent's half, and see if they can possess the ball as much as possible when they have the opportunities to. But they've started out really well defensively. They have given up chances, but they've been doing a really good job of breaking up the passing lanes and getting back behind the ball and putting their body in the right places. So we'll see if they continue to do that. We know Pitt's not going to stop coming at them.
Svenby cuts it back to his left foot. Now Vicek back to Sullivan.
We talked too about Pitt's depth, and they do wear teams down, so we'll see if Cal is able to defend this doggedly throughout the game, if they're able to play mistake-free throughout the game. So it's definitely poised very, very nicely for the fans out there.
Duncan. 3 Panthers draped all over him. No call there.
Yeah,
Pitt takes possession away.
Thought there might have been a free kick awarded there, Kevin.
Yeah.
A bit surprised there, especially right in front of the AR.
You know, Leonard Griffin told us that, you know, it's going to be a tough task, of course, with the way Pitt plays. College soccer is a very direct game. Pitt doesn't really do that. They love to possess and kind of move teams back and forth. So Leonard Griffin knew that. He said, hey, we got to pick our chances and pick them well when we get a chance to press. And they obviously were able to do that. They pressed Cabral Carter and Josh Vicek. They force a mistake and they bury one right away. And it's much nicer playing with a lead on the road than it is trying to come back. Sam Cow can't win it. Throw in coming for Giancarlo Mota.
A lot of talent on this Cal team. A lot of guys with academy experience from the West Coast in particular.
What an adjustment to ACC play. We talked about it already. Of course, no wins yet, 0-3-2 in the conference, but they've been in every game. Picked 13th in the preseason poll. Had a good year last year out of the Pac-12. And playing in this conference is going to help with recruiting as well. Jump into the ACC, the best college soccer conference in the country, and you get the nice weather out there in Northern California. Not too bad to try and lure some players over there.
Yeah, Coach Griffin talked to us about that, how he thought that that was an advantage for his program to be able to recruit not only nationally but internationally, was to be one of the California teams in the ACC and be able to lure some of the East Coast talent out that way.
Sam Cow and Svenby connecting. Svenby with a nice ball cutting all the way through the box to Mayufo's feet.
Yeah, not quite as clean as Pitt would like. They're not really generating the type of clear goal scoring opportunities that they would like, and credit to Cal for that, for making that difficult for them. Pitt's going to keep working it though.
Svenby, left-footed strike. I think he was trying to bend it there. Did something similar against Denver when he hit the post on Monday, but this one wide left.
Yeah, got away from him a bit, but he's dangerous cutting in like that from the right-hand side and not afraid to take a shot.
And how about this? We didn't expect to see this, David. Wyatt Meyer, captain, coming in for the first time this year, working his way back from a foot injury. 11th overall pick last year by Nashville in the draft. So with a lead on the road against #1, why not?
Yeah, and the Twin Towers are removed after 30 minutes, so they'll get an extended break for the halftime coming up. Wyatt Meyer coming in at, looks like center forward, but maybe it's more of an attacking center midfield position. We'll see where he ends up, but a couple coaching adjustments made by Coach Griffin to try to maintain the lead that they've earned to this point.
Wyatt Meyer, a two-time All-League player in the Pac-12, Defensive Player of the Year last season.
And he's buddied right up on Feitosa there, so it looks like maybe that's something that on the defensive end, Meyer will be looking to match up with Feitosa and stop some of his impact on the game.
That Grenning ball sent in, nobody there, so Brocker able to snag it.
Malcolm Zaliet there as well, playing up top.
Zaliet, the freshman. And only 36 minutes against Louisville, second fewest in a match all year. But he's been a major contributor as a true freshman. Here's Meyer with his first touch. Sends it into the box here. Mayufo able to get there.
Dangerous ball looking for Bell on the far side.
Zaliet. Cal wanted a foul on Gilman there. They don't get it, so a goal kick now for Carter.
Dangerous ball put across the box there, and Cal tries to generate something. Zaliet just can't find a way through. No foul there.
Yeah, nothing much on that.
Looks like he might have got a dead leg though. Maybe a knee or a hip hitting into his thigh. But he should be able to run that off.
Yeah, Leonard Griffin told us that Wyatt Meyer was inching closer and was hopeful that next week or the week after they'd be able to get him back and play him in a game, but things might change a little bit when you go up 1-0. We did see Meyer warming up and running around, but you do see that sometimes when a guy's not even available. But Wyatt Meyer maybe getting a little bit of juice from the 1-0 lead and says, "Coach, get me in there. I'm ready to come back now."
Heck yeah, and I love that substitution. Mixes things up, you know. Cal smelling a little bit of blood in the water and seeing an opportunity to solidify their lineup and their game plan. Bringing in an experienced player like Maya that's able to do some different things.
There's Miguel Bertrand with a head of steam toward the top of the box. Smothered there by Cal.
And you know I love the chess match, Kevin, and so to see it start to play out gets my juices going a bit. And now we know that Jay Vidovich, the alchemist over there, will have some changes of his own, some different looks.
Svenby gets into the box. And we actually, I think at this point now, might have more questions about who's available for Pitt. We know Sorensen is not in there tonight, as Pitt with another missed touch, and this one goes across the end line. So Sorensen not in there. We have questions about Arnau Villamejana. Will he be able to go? Lasadal has been sick this week. See him second from the left. Will he be available tonight? And those are some big names for Pitt. Here's a new one that we see. Daniel Gamboa Gonzalez comes on in.
Yeah, and he's going to come in and play center back and push Sullivan up one spot. And so that's another adjustment, this time by the Panthers. Vicek had a bit of a rough first half, obviously made the mistake that led to the California goal. Looked a little bit nervy, whereas when he's come on as a sub throughout the season, he's brought a calmer presence and really a dogged approach. And so he'll be disappointed with the ball he gave up, but like we talked about, those are the types of moments that make you stronger, that give you experience and help you grow as a college soccer player.
But it just shows the confidence that Jay Vidovich had in him. Slide him into the starting lineup tonight, Friday night in the ACC.
But it seems like Villamejana we won't see, because, you know, that might have been one of the substitutions that you might have made there. So that leads me to believe that he is unavailable for tonight, but you never know. So we'll see what we see.
Ball up top for Grenning. That was taken away by Isaiah Thomas. One thing we didn't mention or find out until after we spoke to both coaches this week is we know tonight is the first time Pitt and Cal have ever faced off, not only as members of the ACC, but just in general. Jay Vidovich, head coach of the Panthers, in his career 0-2 against the Cal Golden Bears.
So a bit of a bogey team for not only for Coach Vidovich. We'll see if he gets his first victory against Cal tonight. Pitt's going to have to come from behind if they're going to be able to do it.
Sam Cowan Thorson looking to combine, and look at Svenby there working hard, winning possession in the box. Brocker with a stop on his left foot. What a save from Brocker to even keep that out of the net. I think Svenby was going for the deflection.
Yeah, and great work by Svenby to keep that play alive. It looked like it was going to go out for a goal kick. You see here the through ball misses Thorson, but Svenby doesn't give up on it, gets a touch on it, and then is able to keep it in play and get a shot off. Looked like it took a deflection perhaps on the way into the keeper as well.
Ball in, Brocker with a punch. Feitosa took the corner. Bertrand will settle it. Man, how many goals have we seen like that in college soccer, where you just send one in from the side and it bounces off of a goalie's leg and into the back of the net? Brocker with the poise to be able to keep it in front of him and get rid of it.
Yeah, and Brocker's done well in this first half. He's definitely faced some challenging plays by the Panthers, and he's been able to make the plays that are required as a goalkeeper to keep your team where they need to be. And Cal will be very happy with this first half performance. Pitt will definitely need to make some adjustments at halftime and figure out a second half game plan. We'll see what else this first half has in store for us. If there are any more twists and turns, we'll see if Pitt can get back on level terms before the break, or if Cal's able to find their way to a second.
Brocker has been one of the more tested keepers in the country this year. Second in the conference just over 3 saves per game, and that's what he's got right now in the first half.
You know, I think it was you that was telling me that he wasn't expected to be the starting goalie coming into camp for Cal, so he's another player that's been able to step up for his team.
Ball sent in by Alfredo Ortiz. Bertrand and Bell colliding for a moment. But yeah, that was what Leonard Griffin told us about the injury bug for them. Trying to figure out who they were going to play as they came into the year without Wyatt Meyer. And then they got a number of keepers on the roster, but Zach Ando and Connor Lamb were 2 guys that were expected to compete for that starting position.
Yeah, Connor Lamb was the starting goalie last season. So when the coaching staff talked to us about figuring out their group, that was one of the positions that they needed to figure out through camp as the season started.
Marco Brocker with just 3 games played in each of the last 2 seasons. This year now with his 11th start tonight. 37 saves. Highly tested, but doing a nice job. And Cal also still missing Alan Juarez, too. Member of the Guatemalan U20 national team. Hoping to get him back as well. So another weapon that they could have joining their healthy lineup in the next couple of weeks. Sullivan moved up now into the midfield from that starting center back position.
Coach Griffin talking about the fact that he was proud of the confidence that his team has, and not only are they not fazed by opponents, but they haven't been fazed by tough results going against them. They're excited to play every time out, and as we talked about, certainly this matchup tonight, a great opportunity for this team to come in and turn some things on its head.
So Mota and Ortiz will head off. Justin Knighton comes on, as well as Arseni Methelitsa. Leonard Griffin really likes what Justin Knighton has brought them this year. Real spark off the bench, he called him. So they bring Knighton on, number 7 in blue. Maybe they can catch another one before half, as we're approaching 5 minutes to go in the first at Ambrose Urbanic Field, with the number 1 team in the country down 1-0.
A lot of California kids on this Cal team representing their state well. A lot of pride and passion at work. Pitt, I think their depth will really be tested tonight with illness and injury going through the squad. Talked about Villamit not playing, but also we haven't seen Lasse Dahl yet. We know that he was sick this week, and he's normally one of the substitutes that we see come on for Pitt in this first half, either on the left or right wing, but haven't seen Lasse Dahl tonight, and that's another guy that I'm not sure that we will see. And so, you know, this is going to be a real challenge for Pitt here tonight, down a goal and down some players.
Well, you said it right off the top, is, you know, when we saw the starting lineup and who was out there, you said it immediately. It was going to be a test of Pitt's depth, which is what they've talked about all year long, that they're really happy to have as many guys that can be interchangeable as they do. But tonight, with a shorter bench and much less talent, that's tough to do. A lot of members of your quote-unquote second team now expected to play big minutes and come back. Arnau Villamanjana has really been the guy that set the tone and the pace for this team all year long. If he's not available, that's a big change for this team, to not have that presence out there. Sorensen, your starting center back, not in there. Potentially Lasse Dahl, who's a member of that 4-man attacking group that is interchangeable between Thorson, Samkow, and Grenning. So maybe that toolbox is not as full tonight for Jay Vidovich. We'll see as we continue here.
Certainly a good amount of adversity for Pitt to overcome if they're to get the win and maintain that #1 ranking. Silly foul there by Gamboa, and he's going to go in the book for that.
Card for Gamboa Gonzalez, taking down Wyatt Meyer, freshman on a senior.
Yeah, he misses the ball there and gets a heavy dose of the man. And it is Meyer, as you mentioned, the man coming back from injury. So probably Coach Griffin had a little bit of cringe there when he saw that challenge go in.
Ball up top. Now Knighton pushing on Svenby. That was Gaku Nishimura able to win possession. Now Carmichael sending it up top. And across the end line. Carter, goal kick coming here with just under 3 minutes to go.
So I feel like Pitt started the game brightly, but the goals changed everything. I mean, obviously it gave Cal more confidence, but also I think Pitt's been pressing in the attack a bit more since the goal's gone in. You can almost feel the pressure building a little bit more, and I'm sure it's going to continue to build as long as they're behind in this game. Their depth being tested, as we talked about. I'm thinking about like Bertrand out there, going from playing, you know, 10 or 15 minutes a night to having to play 90 tonight, it looks like.
Feitosa picking up the foul as he battled with Morrison. Just wasn't looking for the ball. It hit off his back as he tried to keep Morrison away from it.
And when we talk about depth, it's been Cal that's been able to use their depth a little bit more well this first half, making changes in the top two attacking positions, changing out a couple midfielders, keeping legs fresh where they can, making life difficult for Pitt, challenging everything.
Crowd wanted a whistle there as Grenning was on the ground.
Yeah, good crowd here tonight, but they've been quiet to this point. Pitt hasn't really been able to give them much to cheer about or get off their seats. But as I mentioned earlier, Pitt has been a second half team all season long. 22 of their 30 goals have occurred in the second half of matches.
Long ball in from Mayufo. And Brocker there once again. He'll sit on it. What a first half for the Cal Golden Bears, coming across the country. Been here in Pittsburgh since Wednesday, so well adjusted. They come out, capitalize on a mistake, chose their moment to press perfectly. Nonso Adimabua with the goal to put him up 1-0. Pitt with 7 shots in the game. Crossed in there, and Brocker once again is there. Sam Cal punches the net in frustration. Mayufo, though, with a beautiful cross in on the ground.
Yeah, nice build-up play by the Panthers on that one down the left-hand side. Grenning combining with Mayufu, who's able to get the service into the box, but keeper does a good job of cutting it out. You mentioned there the frustration for the Panthers, and it has built through this first half, so they're going to have to get themselves back together at halftime and really focus on the job at hand.
Well, we said at the top of the show here tonight, life's been pretty good recently if you're a Pitt Panther. This is the type of adversity they haven't faced in quite a while. First time. Great crowd on hand to watch the nation's #1 team. Disappointed so far. First time trailing at half for the Pitt Panthers in over a month. See what happens in this second half. Pitt is a very good second half team. This year they are plus 20 in the second half. 22 goals in the second half this year out of their 30. Number of pieces missing for Pitt tonight so far.
I do see Lasse Dahl has made an appearance. He's playing on the right wing in place of Albert Thorsen, who's getting a break to start this second half. So Dahl is out there, and looks like he has recovered enough from his illness to be able to participate in this game, and he's been really bright for Pitt on the wings this season, and we'll see if he's able to generate a spark to get Pitt on the score sheet and back on level terms.
Ball sent over to Lasse Dahl here. 5 assists on the year for Dahl, tied for the team lead. Ball sent in looking for Bertrand there by Feitosa. Comes back to him now, top of the box, left-footed strike and a bouncer, but once again Brocker cool back there, able to snag it.
We'll see what noticeable adjustments have been made by the coaching staffs for this second half. Pitt with limited resources tonight compared to some of their other games. Going to be interesting to see how Bertrand there on the ball, number 7, reacts to going the distance tonight. I think he's going to play pretty close to a full 90. And that's going to be how he does in this second half. Could go a long way to determining how Pitt does in this second half. Feitosa tonight has been forced to play more of a number 8 role, a little bit further back from his normal attacking centre midfield position. So he has a different assignment tonight. And I think for guys like Feitosa, Sullivan, Sam Cowell, the senior leaders on this team, it's going to be important for them to really lead their team through these moments.
Grenning has it bounce off the legs of Isaiah Thomas. Those two have been going at it all night. Corner coming now for Pitt. Here are the guys we haven't seen tonight. Nicholas Sorensen started every game as a center back for this team, out tonight. Felipe Mercado's been out for the last handful of games, and Arnau Villamejano is the surprise so far that we haven't seen him. Not sure if we will, but those are the notable ones so far. Lasadal is back in there. Didn't see him in the first half and has been sick this week. There's been illness kind of working its way through the Pitt team. That's why Sorensen is out tonight. Feitosa, this ball to the near post. Now batted around. And no real chance coming off of that one as Guzman and Bertrand battle for it.
Definitely expect a physical second half as Pitt fights to get back into it and Cal fights to preserve their lead. So we may see a bit more of a chippy encounter than we're used to seeing in Pitt games. They've been relatively clean matches so far, but even tonight we've seen Gamboa Gonzalez get the yellow card in the first half, and something tells me we'll see a bit more yellow flying out of the ref's pocket if the physical play continues.
Thomas has done a nice job on Grenning so far. This one almost settled with Dahl. It kind of surprised him.
Yeah, defender got a key touch in there. Grenning was able to provide the service. See him giving the defender fits, able to cut back and get across over. I think it's Morrison with the touch that just prevents Lasadal from being able to connect for a shot on goal, but it is a corner for the Panthers. Pitt stacking the 6-yard box again.
Punched out by Brocker.
Strong goalie play again from Brocker. He's done well tonight. Continues to command his box.
Last time Cal has defeated a #1 team was back in 2019. It was a 3-2 win over Washington. It's a handball there, so Pitt will have a free kick.
Ortiz doing what he can to block that ball from going through, but gives away a foul as a result.
You see there what's at stake tonight. Cal looking for their first win against a #1 in 5 years, and for Pitt looking for an 8th consecutive win. That would be the longest in program history.
Yeah, a lot to play for both of these teams. Massive stakes.
Feitosa curls this one into the box. It settles out, and Sullivan couldn't get on top of that ball. Great chance there for Sullivan to try and get a 2nd consecutive game with a goal.
Yeah, he was a little bit ahead of it and couldn't quite get his foot behind it. Again, service comes over. There's a header touch, and you can see Sullivan's almost ahead of the ball and can't get a clean connection on it.
Morrison again with a head.
Yeah, I mean, those are the type of plays that preserve shutouts. That's just good defending by Cal, doing what you got to do to get touches on crosses, set pieces, to be able to fight them away.
Battle for possession. Adema Bua working hard. Physical battle in the midfield. Refs have let these guys play a bit tonight.
Yeah, I see some conversations going on out there right now, so big challenge for the ref too, to be able to keep guys playing on the right side of that edge that we see so often. Couple of red cards in Cal's last game against Louisville, one on either side.
Foul on Adimabua.
We'll see the maturity and the mindset of Pitt here tonight. A real challenge on their hands. Got to overcome the adversity.
Cuts it in. Dahl there. Feitosa now with a chance in the box. Cleared out by Cal. Sullivan sends one in on the ground. Now Bertrand with a strike. Brocker there. What a save.
Some real danger created there by Pitt. Feitosa taking a run. Dahl having a look. Bertrand with the final shot. Sullivan takes a whack at it. Bertrand takes a whack at it. Keeper again. Gets his hands behind it. So I say it a lot, but Cal continuing to bend but not break. Do all the things necessary to fight the ball away from their goal. Bertrand having a nice effort, but a little bit too direct to the keeper.
Bouncing around in the box. Pitt able to get a foot on it. Zaliet looking for a chance. It's going to be a foul now on Kieran Bracken-Sarah. Chasing down Casper Grenning.
Cal taking opportunities to slow down the game. Stop the Panthers from restarting quickly. Crowd don't like it. Gamesmanship at play. Both teams are going to do everything necessary to get the result tonight. Miscommunication there by the Panthers. Gamboa Gonzalez not able to connect with Grenning. So as you see Pitt relying on some guys that maybe haven't seen big minutes in games tonight. Pitt's going to need to overcome those mental lapses and mistakes.
So obviously, David, with Pitt winning the possession numbers significantly, as we know that they do pretty much in every match, couple of good chances tonight. What have you seen that's been different outside of maybe just the lineup changes with the number of guys that are not available tonight? Is there anything else that you see that is different than what we've seen all year from this team?
Well, I just think it's a disruption to normal service. You know, late changes in the lineup. Chemistry's a little bit off. Different people in some different positions. Guys pressing just a little bit harder now that they're trying to play from behind, which they haven't experienced too much this season. Cal's put them back on their heels, where really Pitt likes to control everything, and while they've controlled the ball, they're behind in the scoreline, and I just see them kind of pressing a little bit, trying to force it a little bit, not playing with that calmness and confidence that we normally see. And so they have had the ball and they have, you know, created opportunities, but it just seems a little bit broken up. Cal doing a good job of being disruptive, getting bodies behind the ball, in front of the ball, breaking up the passing lanes and not letting them get clear shots off. So I remember Coach Griffin talking about how on the flight out here they had lots of time to be able to watch lots of Pitt film, and they've probably seen some things that they wanted to apply to their game plan. Certainly from a defensive standpoint, he talked about them being better in their box, and they have been good in their own box tonight defensively, fighting back this Pitt attack. And obviously in the opposite box, they did a great job taking advantage of the opportunity that was presented to them for their one shot on goal tonight.
Crowd trying to get behind this Panther team. 56th minute here at Ambrose Urbanic Field. Mateo Mayufo sends it into the box. Punched into the air by Brocker for a moment. Headed by Adimabua. Now launched in again by Mayufo. Pitt still trying to push it toward the net.
Yeah, but they're having trouble putting their foot on the ball and moving it in an efficient manner in that final third.
Quick restart there by Sam Cowsey. One possession away from Brendan Bell. Drew the foul. Now Pitt looking to push again out wide. Dahl holding the touchline.
Yeah, look at Svenby make a break down there. Able to win another corner, get forward quickly. Was looking to combine with Dahl. Svenby just galloping almost out of frame. But who is it back there defending him? It's Nonso Adamabua. So he's working hard on both ends, and that's what it takes to get out of a place like Pittsburgh with a result.
A lot of bodies in the 6-yard box. Mayufo sends it in. It's curling. Brocker got his hands on it. It's going to be a Pitt foul.
And the Cal players are asking for the ref to take a look at something there.
Sam Cow kind of backing up. Brendan Bell is still down in the box right now. Number 18.
And we'll see if the ref does go consult the replay system.
Looks like he's going to.
He did call a foul, but I felt he called a foul on the goalie, not on Bell. And we'll see if there's anything in this play. Pitt stacking the box on those corners, creating pressure on the defenders.
So Gamboa Gonzalez kind of backs into Bell there. Maybe an elbow catches him right there. The backswing.
Yeah, I don't see anything malicious there. Certainly not any violent elbow throws that I can tell. So I think this will be, well, I don't even want to say it, but I don't think this will be anything that the ref has to make a decision about.
What do you mean? You've never been wrong before.
But it's a break for both sides and opportunity for both coaches to regroup. Pitt's already back out on the field. Cal continuing to receive instruction from their coach Griffin. But the clock's going to continue to tick down in their favor. We'll see if they're able to hold off Pitt.
So they are only looking at the foul, just making sure there was no extracurricular activity in there that they would want to issue a card for. So 8 corners now, David, for Pitt, none for Cal. What do you see on those set pieces from Pitt? They're not having success really getting anything toward the net.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Eben McIntyre score a goal against Howard from that scenario, but McIntyre's not on the field. He's a big striker that they have, but I just don't think they're able to get a flick on that ball. Goalie's been strong defending his box. You know, maybe they saw something in the keeper that they're looking to put added pressure on him, but he's stepped up and responded to it. So maybe they need to try some different looks. We've seen it short corners and stacking from the penalty area, so we'll see if they continue the approach of stacking the 6-yard box and trying to jam up the goalie. But you know, Brockner's done great. He's done really well to lead Cal from the back. His defenders have done fantastic around him, protecting him and breaking up plays and making it really difficult. They've disrupted Pitt. And for Pitt, it's not from a lack of trying. They've been really working around the box. They've had great possession. They just haven't been able to find that final action. And I'd describe that as a clean shot on goal. You know, they haven't had a clean shot on goal tonight. So while the keeper's been busy, he hasn't really had to make too many saves. It's been more punching away corners and defending his goal line.
So after the review there on the Gamboa Gonzalez foul, nothing extra issued, which is important because Gamboa Gonzalez already has a yellow tonight. That might have been why they were checking it out.
Yeah, it'll be important for all the players to keep their heads. These are the moments that they're challenged, and obviously these games are intense, so you don't want to see them. You don't want to see the outcome of the game affected by a red card decision. You want to see it affected by the play on the field of the players.
Ball up top there to Dahl, and the Panthers win another corner.
And we'll see what they do on this corner, if it's continuing to fill the 6-yard box or if there's a different strategy or approach.
Dahl has been good since coming on in this second half, running a lot of the offense through him so far, at least in the first 13 minutes of the second half. So a little bit of a different look in the 6-yard or the 18-yard box here by Pitt. Feitosa with the corner. It curls toward Gilman. He tries a near post header. That might have been their best looking set piece all night, but he couldn't get his head on top of it.
The old #1 play, near post flick. I'm a big fan of that one. But you can see there how quickly Morrison gets off to defend it and makes it difficult for Gilman to get a clean look at goal. Gilman doesn't get a clean header on it, but again, you know, part of that is because of the pressure put on by the defender. Referee's stopping the clock. He's having a word there about making sure Cal's not time wasting and probably letting them know if they continue to time waste that there'll be a card issued. So that's probably a warning for the goalie.
Approaching 30 minutes to play at Ambrose Urbanic Field. Kevin Wheeler, David Day with you tonight. Thanks for being with us. The #1 team in danger of being upset on its home field. Cal Golden Bears have come across the country and challenged well. Had a big goal in the first half off a Pitt Panther mistake, and defensively they've been sound. Here's a shot toward Brower, and it's wide right this time. Feitosa with the chance.
Yeah, Feitosa's been relatively quiet tonight, but that was a good opportunity. Bertrand finds him. He's got a yard of space to be able to whip a shot off. He just kind of hurries it a little bit and pushes it past the far post. Feitosa's been really good for this Pitt team, and I'd actually look for him to be one of the players that is able to influence this game.
Here's Sam Cow. Sam Cow riding a 7-game point streak.
All of these Panther players are going to have to dig a little bit deeper and find the answer. Another corner. We'll see what they've got up their sleeve for this one. Cal has defended these corners well tonight. Bertrand's over there looking for a shorty, but I'm not sure he's going to get it.
Loose in the box. Sullivan tried to get on top of that. Another corner from the other side this time.
And Maofu's going to take this one. We'll see if it swings in. A bit of chaos in the Cal box there. Samco goes down. Sullivan's able to get a shot off, and Carmichael deflects it out for the corner. Now this should be an in-swinger. Looks like Bertrand's over there to take it, and he's capable of putting it in the goal himself. And just look at the pressure on the keeper right now.
Over the top of everybody. There's no in-swing on that ball.
Pitt is just relentless with that approach. Filling the 6-yard box, putting the pressure on the keeper, really challenging him, trying to get a touch, a flick into the net. Cal continues to defend it and force it away.
What can Jay Vidovich do tactically in this second half?
Well, that's the challenge really, but Thorson's going to come on. We see that.
Adema Bua down right now. Took a knock to the head. Called the trainer out immediately here.
Let's take a look here. He goes up against Sullivan. Clash of heads.
One guy already with a head wrap from a very similar play from a week or so ago.
Yeah, that hurts.
The other guy might have one after this. Sullivan with quite the week so far for Pitt. It's been great this year for them. Here's the Howard game where he took the injury on the head knock here, where he eventually gets the head wrap. Had to leave that game.
Bit of a gash above his eye after that one.
And then Monday, the game winner against Denver. The first half goal for Sullivan. The great Selly. was a great night for Pitt.
Yeah, we'll see if he busts out the bow and arrow again tonight. Wonder if he's got any more arrows in his backpack. I do like the headband look, you know, that's a nice Pittsburgh look right there. Checking in on the guy, making sure he's all right. You know, Sully's been one of the leaders of this Pitt team. Really laid it all out there for the team and been accountable and just works so hard for the cause. And you and I talked about it before we got started tonight. A lot of what he does doesn't get noticed, and so it was nice to see him score that big goal against Denver. And his team has really needed him tonight. He's played centre back, he's playing holding centre mid, and right now doing whatever the team needs him to do, getting whacks in the head, whacking people in the head, going up for headers. So he's doing all the important things, and we see Thorson coming back at the expense of Dahl, and so Dahl, I'm sure, gutting out what he could tonight, given the fact that he's been sick this week.
So Duncan came on for Adima Bua. Gaku Nishimura also on. So some chess pieces being deployed now by both coaches.
And I would imagine the Panthers are going to be happy to see the back of Adam Mabua. He's been good tonight. Scored the goal, but also did a lot of work on the defensive end and got back and helped out. Duncan will need to do the same.
Grenning taken down. Pitt wins possession. And a little swipe of the ball there by Isaiah Thomas.
We had a former Pistons point guard trying to get his hands on the ball. I'll go there even if you're not going to.
I teed it up for you there. That was perfect.
You're the basketball guy. See, that's to me.
That's called an alley-oop.
Thank you. That to me is a card. You know, I mean, smacking the ball out of a player's hand when he's about to take a free kick. That's a gimme. But the ref's doing his best to keep the cards in his pocket. But I've seen cards awarded for less. That's for certain.
Those two guys have been going at it all night too. Little gamesmanship between the two of them.
Yeah, well, Thomas has done well. Coming to Cal from Germany, getting tested at the right back position.
A little bit more of a direct approach there. Trying to find Sam Cow in the middle. Gilman tracking back. Boots it over to Carter. Some pressure here. Zaliet there. Still challenging. Going to call foul on Cal. But man, Gamboa Gonzalez did not hear Zaliet coming.
No, he
sat
didn't.
back and waited for that.
It was eerily like the first goal as well. You know, Carter playing out a little bit nonchalant. Gamboa Gonzalez late to the ball. Takes a whack for his lateness. Let's see if this is a foul. I thought it was the second challenge that actually got called the foul. No, I think Zaliet wins the ball fair and square. It's his second play that's actually the foul right there.
Yeah.
So Gamboa Gonzalez is lucky to get away with that, and you'd think Pitt would be a little bit crisper playing out of the back given what happened in the first half, but Gamboa Gonzalez taking a whack for his effort. So that's another mistake that very nearly got punished, and you can see him limping right now, and that's the last thing Pitt needs, is for another player to go down at this point in time. And can't emphasize enough, they are going to have to gut out any result they're able to earn tonight if they're able to get themselves on the score sheet and salvage something from this game.
And a missed touch by Grenning there. Him and Gamboa Gonzalez talking about it.
So definitely a disjointed effort by the Panthers. Struggling to find their rhythm.
Pitt shut out only once this year, and it's in their only loss on the road to Penn back on September 1st. Undefeated in conference play to this point. Cal looking for their first conference win since joining the ACC. Mayufo out wide to Thorson. Now trying to get on top of that ball and shoot it was Svenby. Didn't get a handle on it.
Yeah, it's another example of Pitt just being a little bit off tonight and not being able to find that final action. A little bit disjointed, and now out of their game, and Cal has an opportunity to counter.
Zaliet taking on the whole Pitt back line here, and a shot. It is wide left. Carter dove to protect it.
Pitt looking to find Sam Cal up top, but he's isolated and well defended, and Cal's going back the other way now. The Panthers look a little bit spread out and disconnected. They're going to have to find a way to reconnect themselves and build the rhythm that we've seen them play with so much skill and technique this season. But that's where I think they really miss a player like Willemit Jama in that holding center midfield position. He's so influential for them. Another player like Sullivan that his work kind of goes unnoticed.
That was a great flick on from Sam Cal. Thorson had it for a moment. Looked like a Pitt chance was generating, but stopped. Cal just seems to be getting in front of every single ball that Pitt sends into that box.
Well, and the other thing is, I think the Pitt front line looks more tired than I've seen them in other games too. They haven't had the breaks that they've received in the past in terms of time out of games. Feitosa looks a little bit gassed. Sam Cal looks a little bit gassed. Grenning and Thorson look a little bit gassed, and you know there's no help coming off the bench, so they're going to have to gut it out tonight and continue to find a spring in their step.
Good back and forth between Svenby and Thorson, volleying back and forth.
But that's the other thing, when your legs get tired, that's when those passes get a little bit harder to make, and you can't get that extra step, cover that extra yard, and that's when breakdowns start to occur. So the harder they work to get back into it, the more energy they expel. And the challenge becomes that much harder. You know, Cal is, the longer they're up 1-0, the more energy they have, the more motivation. They'll have some more players coming off their bench for them down the stretch as well.
Bertrand cutting it back to his right foot. Now Feitosa, top of the box, right-footed strike, too much air.
Yeah, he'll want that one back. That was a decent look on goal, but just floated it a little bit too high, wasn't able to get it on frame. Bertrand doing a good job sort of cutting in and getting the ball to Feitosa's feet. He takes a touch, but just lofts it a little bit too much, leaning back. Goalie had it covered.
You're making basketball references.
Hanging
like a little dunk there.
Hanging on the rim. It's a technical, isn't it?
You know, when we talk to Leonard Griffin, we talk about all the close games that Cal has played this year. Kind of asked him, like, what's the difference? What's going to push you over the edge? And he said he loves what he's seen for the most part. It's just more attention to detail, more connectedness at the back, and I think we've seen exactly that tonight.
Yeah, and they wanted to be patient with their press and find balance, make sure they played with organized defensive unit, and I think that's been the most impressive thing tonight. They have been exceptional in the back, stayed organized, stayed connected, and continued to work for each other, and they've really frustrated Pitt.
Especially when you consider it's not like Cal has not been under fire. They've been outshot by 11 shots to this point. They've had to face 11 corners from the Pitt Panthers. Brocker's been great between the pipes. Flicked on. Svenby knows he missed a chance there once again. Good idea by Feitosa.
Yeah, that final action just not pulling off for him tonight. Thorson with the flick. Svenby can't control it. Another build-up breaks down for Pitt. There again, the looks just haven't been clean enough, just been a little bit off with the touches, the connections, the chemistry.
And all the more impressive for Cal to do this here at Ambrose Urbanic Field. Pitt has only lost 5 matches on this field since 2020. And they have a plus 90 scoring margin during that stretch of time.
Yeah, the first goal is so important, but obviously the work that Cal's done since they've scored the goal has been almost even more important. And you see they're just connected and organized across the back line. Every guy handling their assignment.
Turned over by Feitosa, trying to win it back. Nice touch by Duncan, releases Bell up the right side. And that went out before the slide tackle. There's going to be a moment for a substitution here. So Adimabua will be able to re-enter in the second half here because of the head injury sustained a bit ago. So Duncan comes off now.
And what a nice rabbit to be able to pull out of the hat that is. Obviously left to get treatment for the head injury. So that substitution doesn't count against them guys. And that's another advantage that Cal's been able to utilize to get the result in this game. And while Pitt's been suffering with a lack of depth tonight, Cal has really used theirs to the highest degree possible. Solid defensive block, solid midfield block, and Pitt not able to find a successful way through yet. But they continue asking questions. But Pitt's going to need a burst of energy and a dynamic play to be able to find an answer and break their duck.
And turned over once again.
I'm curious to see if Coach Vidovic has any rabbits up his sleeve.
Adimabua has it taken away by Mayufo. And a counterattack launched by Pitt now. Crowd senses something coming. Grenning into the box. Sam Cowell turning with a chance here. Not enough strength behind that shot. Tried to poke it with the right toe, and Brocker was there. Easy stop for him.
Sam Cowell just couldn't generate enough juice on that shot to be able to force it past the goalie. But as you mentioned, the crowd could definitely sense that there was danger there. Sam Cowell dances on the ball, pulls it back for himself. But I think again there, Morrison got a slight touch to put him off. And Morrison has been huge, his partner Carmichael back there, and disrupting that final action that would bring a goal for Pitt. All night long, they've frustrated Pitt with those final actions in the box.
Marco Brocker's just been brilliant back there tonight, very steady, handled everything that's come his way. 6 saves tonight. That ties a season high. Hit twice against North Carolina and NC State. Grenning forces one there. That looked like a frustration shot.
Yeah, 100%, a little bit desperate, a little bit hopeful. Not a good connection, but still plenty of time left for Pitt to change the tide of this game. But Cal has been resolute to this point and jamming them up, frustrating them, and defending as strong as possible.
Turnover in the midfield again, and once again, Cal with the 1-0 lead over number 1. The last time the Cal Golden Bears defeated a number 1 team was 2019. It's been a while, and for Pitt, riding a 7-game win streak right now. If they made it number 8 tonight, that would be the longest in program history. Playing a little short-handed tonight is Pitt. Still with 15 minutes to try and find an equalizer. They've dominated possession for the most part, but Cal has been well organized and thwarted every effort really to get a clean shot on the net.
Yeah, I think that speaks to what Coach Griffin was talking to us about in terms of them paying a high attention to detail and holding each other accountable, helping out each other and communicating effectively, all keys to this game, and they've been able to execute very well tonight.
Sullivan with a great tackle there to win the ball and keep it in this half. Bertrand wanted it, so Grenning gave it to him. Now pinned into the corner.
Bertrand's done well tonight in kind of an emergency type situation. I'm sure when he woke up this morning, he wasn't planning on playing as much as he did tonight, but he stepped up and really helped Pitt try to generate opportunities and brought some energy to the top of that midfield.
Three true freshmen out there on the field for Pitt Panthers tonight, between Bertrand, Daniel Gamboa-Gonzalez, and Lasadal. Cal wins possession. Panther faithful didn't like it. Now Sullivan's going to get called for a foul.
I'm thinking the ref forgot to bring his cards out in the second half. I think he left them in the locker room, because that's at least two I would have given out in the second half. So Sullivan gets off with that one. Sully tracking back, just has the ball pushed away from him, and he can't stop his momentum.
Brendan Bell a little banged up after that.
Yeah, it's been physical, been tough on both sides.
Adema Bua, Gilman there to take it away. Throw in coming. Substitution coming on now for Cal.
I think it's Wyatt Meyer coming back on. We'll see who he replaces.
It's going to be Adema Bua. So Wyatt Meyer, we didn't expect to see him tonight. First appearance of the year, popped up in the first half. Now comes on to try and close this thing out in the last 15 minutes of this game against #1 Pitt.
I'm not sure Adema Bua is thrilled about coming out of this game.
Carmichael and Sam Cal. Carmichael winning the ball.
Yeah, and Sam Cal kind of lost the ball a bit. He had his back turned to it, and he didn't find it quick enough, and Carmichael was quicker to it, so that was a good challenge there by the center back. Every time it looks like Pitt might get something going, they're just frustrated and defeated by Cal. Cal continues to work at a high level.
Might have got there a bit early on that one.
I'm a former center back, so I'm okay with it, but
strong challenge regardless.
Strong challenge, yep. But I do think part of it was that Sam Cal had kind of lost the ball and had to adjust, and things always look worse in slow motion.
Svenby, deep service into the box, looking for Sullivan. Brocker is there. How cool would it be, too, David? Talking about Cal, Leonard Griffin, his third season, to get their first ACC win potentially against #1 on the road, and the guy to do it with the game-winning goal potentially would be Nonso Adema Bua, a guy that followed Leonard Griffin to Cal from San Francisco, played for him there. Was the WCC Freshman of the Year when he was at San Francisco, follows Leonard Griffin here. His coach told us this week that he's been a great extension of him on the field for Cal since he got here. Other guys in the program asking Nonso questions about what the coaches expect. How cool would it be to see that happen tonight?
Yeah, it would most certainly be a statement win for the Golden Bears. Nonso Adema Bua coming from San Francisco, where he played 25 games in 2 seasons, scored 8 goals, 6 assists. He did some work there. For the Panthers, Svenby is replaced and Eben McIntyre has come on, so a change for the Panthers to try to turn the tide and find the tying goal.
Ball up top for Thorson and a big run here. This one's sent forward for McIntyre. Can he get there? Brocker's there. No call. Panther fans want one. They don't get it, and it's loose. They do get one. They do get the call in the box with Brocker coming out and stopping McIntyre.
An immediate impact by Eben McIntyre coming on and getting a run in behind. Gets pulled down by the goalie and wins a penalty. Of course, the referee's going to go have a look at it to confirm his decision. Our crew's got some replays for us. You see Thorson plays it over. McIntyre, it looks like he gets a touch on the ball. And the goalie, I don't think, does get a touch on the ball. Oh yeah, the goalie did get a touch on the ball. So that may come back. Let's have a look at it one more time. McIntyre stretching for it. The goalie does get a touch on it, but also he's not in control of his body. And so I will be really curious to see what the ref determines here.
So the call on the field is going to be a penalty kick. Brocker coming out off his line to try and stop that run by McIntyre.
There's definitely contact between the goalie and McIntyre, but also I think it's interesting that McIntyre didn't get a touch on the ball and the goalkeeper did get a touch on the ball.
Yeah,
There's
who
one more look.
Ball first? Does he get a toe on it
that's
there?
That's a good question. Either way, the goalie's not in control of his body, and so even if the ball has gone, he's still fouled him, even if the ball's gone past.
Does he get a toe on it there?
Quite possibly.
Brocker does touch it on its way by. It's going to be tough to reverse it, I think.
For me, it's a penalty. The goalie's not in control of his body, and he fouls another player, regardless of the fact that, you know, it took a deflection off him on the way by. So I'm going penalty. Let's see what the ref does. He's talking to the UCLA coach, so I think he's explaining his decision to give the penalty here. Yep.
What an impact for Eben McIntyre, coming in and earning a penalty kick right away. Look at the whole run here. Here's zoomed in. Who touches it first? Does McIntyre get a toe on it? Regardless, the call on the field was Brocker committed the foul.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not sure it matters one way or the other about the touch on the ball. I think it's the foul on the man, but so one way or the other, the keeper fouled the player, and I support the ref's decision, and we'll see if Sam Cow's able to continue his penalty streak.
Sam Cow with 8 goals on the year. Top 15 in Division I against Marco Brocker. Sam Cow is stopped by Brocker. The Cal keeper continues a career night. Sam Cow stopped on the penalty kick. Unbelievable.
And so the Cal Golden Bears fans at home will say that's justice served.
Quick corner now for Pitt. Brocker there. How fitting for him to come up with it.
Yeah, Brocker's having a night. Let's take a look at the save. Takes his cue, goes the right way. Sam Cow not enough power to find the back of the net. I think maybe the keeper faked him out.
Now the other side, Wyatt Meyer with a chance. It's stopped by Carter.
So it just continues the storyline of this game. Cal holding strong. Pitt wins the penalty. And Brocker's able to make the save to keep his team up 1-0.
What a game here at Ambrose Urbanic Field. This one launched in there. Stopped by Bo Morrison. He's got his head on so many crosses in tonight.
Yeah, there's been a lot of champions at the back for Cal. The goalie Brocker, the centre backs, Morrison, Carmichael, they've done a fantastic job.
7 saves tonight for Brocker, working on a shutout. What a night for him.
I mean, it's just a massive statement game for Cal. Coach talked about the fact that they've been in so many of these games and suffered some tough, close losses.
So Brocker with 7 saves tonight. That's a career high for him. Let's look at his night. He's been tested all night long.
Yeah, reflex kick save there, and his defenders come to his aid. From the corner, we've seen a lot of pressure put on him in his 6-yard box. Punch away. Gets his hands on that one, and here's the biggest of the night. The penalty save on Sam Cow. Preserves the shutout.
And in that, too, you saw Giancarlo Mota early in the game with that assisted save, if you will. And that initial flurry from Pitt that happened very early in the match. Looking for Brendan Bell in the box now.
And we'll see how many more opportunities Pitt are able to get themselves on the score sheet. But they may not have one better than the penalty they just missed. Feitosa is down. It looks like he's going to have to come off, and I see Santiago Ferreira, it looks like, is going to be the man to come on. We know that Feitosa was battling an injury this week. Had an ankle injury sustained in the Denver game, and his coach wasn't sure that he was going to play in tonight's game, but he was able to train yesterday and get himself available. And now young Ferreira's going to have an opportunity to impact this game.
Ferreira just with his 3rd game played now this season. Had 10 last year and 1 start. Very capable in the midfield. Ball up top here for Thorson. Batted around, nice flick on to Bertrand. Left out wide, left for Grenning. Grenning into the box, it's loose. Brocker there again. Marco Brocker out of his mind tonight.
Again, the final action just can't be found. Bertrand's able to connect it out left here to Grenning, who whizzes it into the 6-yard box. But neither Sam Cow or McIntyre can find it. Mota is able to kind of shield it into the goalie's hands. Cow again survives another attack in their box.
Brocker under so much pressure tonight. Think of how many corners he's had with guys in and around him.
Yeah, I mean,
that chance there too, David, just the velocity of that cross on the ground. Doesn't lose it, tracks it the whole way, able to stop it.
Strong performance by the goalie. 7 minutes away from preserving a historic victory for this Cow Golden Bears program. Potentially their first ACC victory in history. Potentially the scalp of the #1 team in the country on the road.
Loose. Wyatt Meyer got a head on it. It's still loose in the box, and it goes out. Last touch by Pitt. It's going to be a corner now. The first one of the night for Cal.
And if I'm Cal, I'm already playing this one nice and short and keeping it up there as long as possible. I would be full on gamesmanship at this point in time. Ref stopping the clock for the slow walk of Ortiz over to the ball. But Cal is going to do everything within their power to get out of here with a win. Every second's going to count, and every second Cal is able to kill of this game is at 1 less second that Pitt's going to have to generate the goal scoring opportunity to tie it up.
Carter will distribute this quickly, trying to launch a counter off the corner. How many runs are left for Pitt? They keep possession. Sam Cow with a quick throw in. We'll have to redo it with that ball that leaked back out onto the field.
Sam Cow hustling over to the side to take the throw in and keep things moving.
They lose momentum though with that ball that comes out. Cal able to set the defense. Grenning double teamed on the left, working on Thomas, keeps it in, and there's Brocker again. No Panther at the near post. McIntyre and Sam Cow were humming around.
Grenning did well to fight his way past these two defenders. I was surprised he was able to find some daylight but he can't pull the ball back enough to connect with a teammate, and Brock is able to cut it out.
Alfredo Ortiz out wide. Fouled on that far touchline.
So the clock stops with the man down. Let's take a look at what happened. Ferreira's matched up, then Sullivan comes over. I don't get the sense that was intentional, but wasn't very smart either.
Ball's right under him there.
We'll see if the ref takes another look at this situation.
I think that's what Bracken Sarah is saying is, did you see Sullivan come through that play with the knee to the head? So, hope that Ortiz can get up, finish this off. Leonard Griffin, some moments to coach his team.
Griffin was talking to us about some of the great coaches he's played for in his career. Not only did he win a national championship as a player, but he got to play for some of the legends of coaching in America, Ziggy Schmidt, Bruce Arena. Learned a lot from both of them, and also added the fact that he had played for Adrian Heath in his time, one of my former favorites, former Everton man. Griffin had quite the career, playing at UCLA, but also was the number 11 pick in MLS Superdraft, played for Chicago Fire, the Portland Timbers, the Galaxy, and played for Adrian Heath at the Austin Aztecs. So he knows what it's all about. We talked about the fact that he had confidence in his team, even though results hadn't been going their way, and he's able to keep them focused on each game.
So Ortiz will head off, Knighton coming on.
Yeah, corner flag time for Cal, and these incidents can get messy in the corner.
Pitt wins the ball. Pinned deep in their own end. Nice job by Sullivan. Get past Knighton. Foul called. There's going to be a card issued here tonight.
Oh, he did bring his cards with him in the second half. I'm surprised by that. He did so well holding out, giving the card in the second, and then gives it out there. I thought Sullivan was going to have to whack the free kick off him to draw the yellow card. Oh, now it looks like there may be another one offered up.
It's going to be on the Pitt bench. It's like maybe Zach Schalowski. So now you thought there weren't any cards in his pocket. Now Barndon Marion, the official, issuing 2 in about 5 seconds of play.
That's right, and that's what your assistant coaches are there for, is to take yellow cards for you.
Sullivan launches this one all the way into the box. Once again, Marco Brocker able to clean it up.
Yeah, that's not going to get it done for Pitt, and they've just been unable to generate the type of scoring chances we've seen them generating so far this season. We talked about some of the reasons for them to be a bit off the pace tonight, but I know they'll be disappointed in themselves to have let this game get away from them, being punished for their mistakes and their chemistry breaking down with the changes to their lineup.
And another bright spot too is now there's a foul. Pitt's going to want to restart quickly. Another card handed out. It's Kieran Bracken-Sarah this time. I was just going to say that Wyatt Meyer looks really lively tonight too in his first appearance of the year.
Yeah, he's enjoyed getting back out there.
See the extra hand around the hip of Bertrand.
Yeah, it's well earned for Bracken-Sarah, but you know, those are the types of plays that, you know, desperation plays. Cal trying to get such a massive win. It's do or die time now for Pitt. 4 minutes left in this contest to get themselves on the score sheet, and they're going to need a moment of magic.
Toward Grenning on the left, headed into the middle of the box, looking for Sam Cow. It's loose for a moment, and Kevin Carmichael there to boot it out and clear it. Now there might be another card handed out. Gamboa Gonzalez committing the foul on Zelaya.
Yeah, it's not a card, but it's a silly foul to concede at that point in time. More time ticking down off the clock. Gamboa Gonzalez trying to stand his ground.
Gonzalez with a card already tonight.
And maybe Zelaya wins the foul, but you know, that's the type of stuff that you got to do to close out games. Use your body effectively. Cal's done well from a physical standpoint, from an energy standpoint tonight. We've talked about the fact they've used their depth well, made substitutions wisely. It's really been a team effort for them. Strong from the back to the front.
A number of players right now for Pitt out there on the pitch that you wouldn't really normally see at this stage of the game. Shorthanded tonight in a few different areas.
Yeah, I count sort of 5 non-regulars at this key moment.
Season high in minutes for Casper Grenning tonight too. Thorson out wide right. Booted in. Bracken Serra there to clear it for a moment. Now Sullivan trying to win it back. Does get it to Thorson. Bouncing around. Mota wins the ball.
Emotions running high right now. Pitt doing everything they can to find an answer. Cal frustrating them all night long. They have bent but not broken as a defensive unit. They've stayed connected. They've really done well in terms of using their bodies and getting headers and flicks on the ball to break up the attack of the Panthers. Survived a ton of corners and set piece opportunities. There's Carmichael. He knows what to do with it. Whack anywhere will do.
.90 seconds to play at Ambrose Urbanic Field. Foul called. Quick restart. Pitt undefeated in ACC play so far. Stanford and SMU played to a 2-2 draw earlier tonight. Stanford right on the heels of Pitt. Stanford without a loss in the ACC so far. Another throw in. Under 60 seconds to play here. Number 1 trying to find an equalizer late. Into the box. Brocker has it punched. Grenning. Brocker in there again. He's diving all over the place.
And if that's the last chance Pitt has, that's an appropriate final action for this game, because Brock has been tremendous. You see there, he gets a hand on it. And then Grenning trying to get the ball back into the 6-yard box, and Brock is there again. What a game by that young goalkeeper. He and a number of his Golden Bears teammates have come in here to Pittsburgh and really put in a fine accounting of themselves. And it looks like they're going to earn a historic victory for their program.
Stop the clock with 7 seconds to go, and yeah, Brocker wants to hear it from his Cal faithful that have made the trip. Quite a number of them in attendance tonight. Nonso Adimabua with the game winner tonight. How fitting is it for him to do this for his head coach Leonard Griffin? Followed him here from San Francisco. Helped start the culture of this program with Leonard Griffin. You can see it on his face too. He's ready to exhale big time. So Pitt with a last chance. Put some time back on the clock. Long strike into the box. Carmichael with a head on it. It's loose, and that'll do it from Ambrose Urbanic Field. Number 1 goes down tonight. The first time in 5 years that Cal takes down number 1.